From college, he goes to QFM. You want to come here and start saying you're a godfather. Whose father? That it's true, your mops is the most happening. But the person saying your mops is the most happening is not the right person to say that. With Showstar, there's like anything that I'm trying to do, he will invite me, come and we discuss that thing on my show, on my YouTube page. So his intention is to really get me exposed as the bad, the villain, you know. I'm the villain. I've always been the villain.
Hello world, from whichever time zone you're catching me from, my name is MD90. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification to all so that you do not miss the uploads that come up. I saw this conversation in 2015 with IK. So this is where it comes from.
So this is where it came from. So my part was not to show off or to boast to the public, because obviously when you say such kind of things, it always has this wrongly, like, you know, I mean, Azimvela, he wants to show like he's happening, he's the most richest guy and whatnot. But you see, for me, it was trying to help my brothers in the group. And even when I said I was the richest guy, I didn't say it publicly, you know, I said it in the group so that they can challenge me within the artists ourselves and fight within ourselves. And I was hoping that through that they could maybe get challenged, then maybe learn, you know what I mean? But then it spelled out, it blew out of proportion. It they took, because they were used to take it to social media, now they took what I say in the group and they publicize it. CQ claims to be the richest musician in Zambia. You know what I mean? So now you start getting other people's, you know, opinions and CQ, like, really? So now the mindset around Zambians is that when you're happening, you're number one spot, you are the one that is making the most. And then they're like, what song has CQ done? When was the last time CQ did something? Oh, blah, blah, blah. So now you start getting all these shots of, you know, social, you know, cyberbullying type of thing. Because the intentions of taking it to social media
was for exactly that.
For cyberbullying, so that I can be reduced to, you know, to nothing. But then I know myself. And I didn't have any problems, so I never responded to anything on social media.
So how did this spill to 2020?
So now, smooth talk, I came brought it out. CQ say that you're the richest.
Yeah, I mean that.
And I had to just, I said yes. I said I was the wealthiest musician. I said I was the wealthiest. Yes, I confirmed it, and that's how come everything now around. You know, started, and then now going to 2022 because. With the way the direction was going, I decided to pull out. I said, I'm not going to win because the mindsets and the way we're reasoning is too different. So let me just...
We're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, we're not getting it. So I left the group. I left all the groups and they went ahead, and believe it or not, nothing came out. And that's how come it died, the idea of forming a union. And that's how it all died. So obviously you need to get over these things. We're still in the same industry. You know, I've been pushing. But then it affected me highly in the sense that no matter how good of something I did,
content that you put out,
there were DJs in there that...
So you're a blackboard in short?
Yeah, I was. So you know what, I would do something, they would listen to me like, it's good, but we're not going to give it the intended support. And because this guy is big-headed, already is big-headed, what if we support him to blow? To that number one spot, you will end up being more difficult.
And it goes global.
So they would judge me by that, and they tried to suppress me. But you know, I've been working slowly. I got my way of doing it, just getting things, you know, getting by things and all that stuff. So I had my shows in the US. I kept on, you know, flying. You know what I mean? I get invited to go and perform abroad.
But here's what I want to pick up, because I've seen you always give your honest opinion on everything. Even Zam, obviously, whatever was going on in Zambia. Since Steve was in, did you recontest the recent elections?
No, I didn't, because I saw that. Look, you see, the mindset of Zambians is that you need to be number one.
Okay.
You need to be driving the industry.
You need to be trending.
You need to currently drive the industry for you to make some
major changes.
Major changes. Even the TiVo contention, it was trying to get at me. Not that TiVo was like the best candidate, as in, no, he was okay.
Oh, so you stood against TiVo at the time?
Yeah, at the time, yes, but these guys wanted to just humble me.
Okay.
Because in their minds I was too much. I was
big-headed.
too big-headed. So everything I did, I needed to lose.
Okay.
Whatever I did, I need to lose. So you know what? I said, you know what? I'll leave this to them, because at the end of the day, I was only trying to help. My job is just to help. My exposures and whatever information I have, it's just to help the industry become better. But if my contributions are not welcome, I might as well just keep them to myself, instead of forcing myself to want to help when people are not willing to receive my help. So I said that, you know what, I'm not going to contest for this ZAM programs trying to help the industry in any way. Let's just leave it as it is. I'm sure God has his own ways of, is going to help us. He'll redeem us from, from whatever we're going through. So let me just concentrate on my programs and so since then I've just been doing my own things, trying to push this, that. But people in certain positions always keep that guy, no matter what he does, I can never do, because you have that,
mindset.
Yeah, man. So with Shosta, from time to time, you still
say some subliminal
things. If there's like anything negative that I'm trying to do, he will invite me, come and we discuss that thing on my show, on my YouTube thing. So his intention is to really get me exposed as the bad, the villain. I'm the villain. I've always been a villain. Okay. So he wants me to be the villain, but then life is just going its own way. People know me differently. They know who I am. You know what I mean?
So in short, you and Shosta are not in a good place.
We can laugh, but I kind of feel like he's got hidden agendas and intentions, because he looks at me like, this guy, he thinks he's all that, he thinks he owns this, he does this and that. So it's a perception that he needs to change. Okay, there are things that we may have crossed paths. You need to forget about it.
But are you good with Macky and JK?
These are my guys, these are my mates, these are my niggas. We are just good. Like me, I talk about people. I may talk about them. It doesn't mean that I'm enemies with them. We eat together, we drink together, we laugh, but we are good. But I appreciate people like JK. You tell him off, he will tell you off. Next thing, we are good. You understand? Macky 2, I like him. I like Macky 2 personally. Macky 2 has got a good heart. Okay, he doesn't keep grudges. Macky 2 is one guy you would talk, you would shout, you have your misunderstandings, but you get over some things, and then you'll be back. You'll be there trying to push you, help you, and he's a good guy. He's like me. Those are kind of people, but his followers are not like him. So people are different. So I remember the recent post Shosta posted on his Facebook. He went like, Yo Mops is the most happening, artist right now, currently the most happening artist, blah blah blah. He said nice things about Macky 2, okay? About Yo Mops or about. So I looked at that post in my position. I was like, okay, that it's true. Yo Mops is the most happening, but the person saying Yo Mops is the most happening is not the right person to say that. The reason being, he's a DJ. He represents a father figure. Okay, if you're a DJ, you need to embrace everybody and don't be segregative and have favorites within the arts. You end up looking like you're being biased, and you end up looking like, oh, that's the reason why Yo Mops plays a lot, because he's dad's favorite. You know what I mean? So there's always going to be this, the reason why Yo Mops is happening is because the DJ on radio is like #1 artist. So my advice is usual, I don't keep myself like.
So you commented on this post?
I commented on it. I was like, no one can take away the truth that Yo Mops is the most happening artist. and I agree 100%. But the problem is you saying it. Because one, you've got a website where you promote artists. You're a promoter, but the moment you start becoming biased, you know, everything that comes out of his excellence is always going to be, you know, questioned. Could it be that really he deserves it, or maybe there's some favoritism or there's biasness? You know, so I say you need to refrain from individually complimenting artists like, oh, I like this guy, for more especially with the trending. You give an impression like, oh, no wonder things are happening for this guy, you know what I mean? So he was against that. Instead of just saying, no, defending it, he's always attacking. When you tell someone, or you're trying to correct someone, and then they go for your father, then you know that he's running away from the question. When I say, my guy, why do you like doing this? And then you answer me by saying, you're a jealous guy. You wanted to be the one I talk about. You know what I mean? That's the problem with these guys. You're a jealous guy. I'm like, I was just helping you to realize and say, you know what? Maybe this guy is right. I'm a father figure. People come to me. I play different sorts of artists. But if I overplay my Yomops on my show, it will look like already your favorite. So no wonder it's happening. So answer me with the facts. Don't start coming and say you're jealous because I'm promoting a young upcoming artist. The problem with you, CQ, you want to be the only one. You want to be the guy to be promoted, and now you're jealous of even young artists that we're promoting. You gotta move on. You had your time, you know. Yes, I have my time, but are you the one to remove me out of my time when I still have the energies? Look, falling off time happens naturally. You don't need to you are not the one to tell, hey, wait, time you can't be the one to. Itself, time will just, you try to fix it, you yourself as an artist, you try to, things will fall off. That's when you know that, okay, maybe things are not happening for me, my time is gone, but I'm still trying to push things and I'm getting, you know what I mean, I'm getting good,
reviews and plays.
Then you are coming to tell me, you should retire, I must see that pass a one chance.
But here would be my question.
Yes.
Over all the opinions that you've had and going against the grain in most cases,
yes,
do you have an ambition of getting into active politics, or that's not in the picture, eventually?
I think I'm a politician.
Clearly. I'm glad you acknowledge that.
Yeah, I think I am a politician, because you see what, the things that just don't sit well with me, and I fail to keep quiet. You know what I mean? I don't feel like, if someone is misleading us, then I know this guy is misleading us. I'll be there saying, boys, and then obviously I'm going to get all this feedback. Yes, backlashes like, CQ has got a problem, this problem is added from this and that. But when you look at it factually, you'll be like, okay, maybe this guy has got some truth. So the recent post again was he, declared the godfathership. Okay, so I was like, you're in busy. You can't be a godfather, you know what I mean? When you got inspired by legends who are living, you know what I mean? And they are still active. I was trying to refer to people like Smooth IK, K-Smash, and I just gave him the history of where everything is happening from. Me who has been there, I'll tell you that before what we're seeing now, there was only ZNBC as the only radio station. Mulungushi then, which was now transformed to Radio 4. There was only Radio 4, Radio 2, and Radio 1. Only government-owned stations, and DJs used to work for the government, for ZNBC, So there were DJs like Guest Group. Guest Group worked for Radio 4, okay? Before the birth of Phoenix. First private-owned station that came into Zambia was Radio Phoenix. That's where K-Smash came. When the K-Smash, when the Kenny Tonga, when the Zakadoshas, Those were like the new crop. In Moses Sinyama, these guys were DJs at Radio Phoenix. After working at Radio Phoenix, they decided to branch off and make their own stations. So now what happened was a DJ from Radio Phoenix goes and makes QFM, which is Moses Sinyama, who used to be DJ at Phoenix. Zakadocious goes and makes Hot FM. Kenny Tonga, he makes Power FM. Okay? So you have all these greats that are now creating new opportunities for young DJs to work for them. That's where Shosta falls under a real godfather. A real godfather who is Moses Sinyama. So someone was given you an opportunity for us to even get to know you through QFM. You're supposed to question, where did QFM come from? And who is the owner of QFM? QFM is owned by a former DJ who has now taken up the responsibility to say, okay, now I'm grown, let me start embracing the young ones. So you start embracing the young ones. Those young ones, instead of acknowledging that you have created a platform for them, they start growing gold, because you've given them a platform. So now I'm like, Shosta, you need to really take it easy on things like I'm a godfather. And like, to me, these things like godfather, titles, all these king, shanshani, come on guys, it's not usually a single effort. It's a what can I say? It's
community.
Yeah, it's effort. It's not single-handedly like, oh, I'll crown myself king. No, even kings, real kings.
King
yes, there's someone that will pass on the crown to say this is my next king. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not it's a effort by many people. You understand? I know there's a term I'm trying to use that.
You don't self-proclaim yourself.
No. Okay, you can't. It's not self-like that. So what you're trying to do when you do that, you're trying to cut off. It's like you're starting a new world. Outside there, where you're coming from. So you come up and say, I'm the godfather. So those that almost want to believe that you're a godfather, because of course generations come in and go, but if the other guys are still alive, they'll miss out the chance of being acknowledged. We're just going to look at Moses Sinyama as a businessman. I didn't know at station, instead of giving juice or respect to say, hey, this guy was once like you. If you work hard, probably, maybe someday, you could own your own station, you know what I mean?
Alright, thank you.
Yeah.
I would like to get your thoughts and over a number of things.
Yes.
People that look up to you across the board, be it music or fashion sense, what would be words for those people? And even your haters, look at the camera and have a word for everyone.
Well, those that look up to me will know that I've always been passionate about just taking Zambian music to the next levels. I've always been very passionate from inception. Even just what I do get, people always say my potentials are too way up there, and probably the expectations that I'm supposed to blow, in Africa, maybe, the world, global. So because I look like I've not managed to break off or what can I say, to really fully utilize my potentials. People feel like, no, it's an escape, guys. But when I look at the Zambian scene and what you call success, I think I've fitted in all those. I've already filled in all those tanks that need to be filled in to be called that celebrity in Zambia. There's no place, there's nothing that I haven't gotten in Zambia. But if you're saying I've not made it, and I'm an upcoming artist, yes, I'm an upcoming artist because I need to be, big in Africa, then I'll agree, you know what I mean? So, inspiration is one thing, but for me, the biggest thing is to grow Zambian music, to blow out there. I still have the dream, and I know that we can do it, guys, you know what I mean? But we need to do it collectively. It's a collective effort. We need right promoters to promote the right content, okay, to push Zambian music to the next level. This business of us consuming local, there's been a lot of good music for local, but we need to also start separating local music and international music. I see a lot of potential international artists, potential Wizkids and Davidos, potential big Burna Boys, the potential ones that are coming up, like they can be at that level. The Nasty C's, we have them here, but they're not given the right publicity. They're not given the right, platform. They're not being publicized right. So you know what? We end up starting, those that have the bigger rather potential, start feeling inferior because you're promoting average to be the best. And they're the best, they know they're the best, but if everybody's saying, these guys are the best, in the end you start believing them. You start looking at yourself like, maybe it's just in my head, I'm not even the best, you know what I mean? But if we start tapping the right talents, okay, let local be local. We're always going to have these clubs on the ground. It's everywhere. In America, there's artists that are local within America, and the international artists. Even in Nigeria, there's a lot of local artists that we do not know about, but when you go to Nigeria, you find that they are the kings of the ground. But we have international artists like the Davido, the Wizkids, the Burna Boy. These guys have decided to be the cream de la cream of Nigeria. And that's the reason why we are able to know about, we know about them. Go to South Africa. There are a lot of underground artists, good on the ground. They even say, no, it's better than Nasty C. But they're artists like Nasty C, there's Casper Nyovest. They've managed to bring out, ambassadors for their countries. Whereas in Zambia, we want the local guy trending on a local countdown because he's number one for the 15 weeks or months. You want to transform that.
The international thing, there's a show coming up in Australia. I don't know if you've seen it, where
yes.
It's the Zambian lineup.
Yes.
There's a serious fight. Do you have enough space, Malcolm?
Yes.
Thank you for bringing.
Yes.
Thank you for that thought.
Yeah.
And this is so fresh. The presidential photographer, you know him.
Yes, Chela Tukuta.
He went at one of the posts and said, you guys just go and perform to Zambian audiences. What are your 2 cents on that from both angles?
Speaking from experience,
yes,
Chela is right. I've gone to America many times, and the mistake and the biggest problem I've had is that the promoters that call us to perform in these places, you know what? They just advertise to fellow Zambians. So I'll go to a place like at a show in Chicago, okay, maybe 2015, 16, somewhere there, with Dandy Crazy. We went to Chicago, Dandy Crazy, me, Ossie, and Joe Wyson. We were performing in Chicago. There were 300 people that turned up for that show. And then I was like, okay, this is, to me, not many people, because it was at a hall, you know what I mean? But guess what? They were so happy with that event, like it was the biggest event. They said it was the biggest show they ever had. And I'm like, 300 people, biggest? Like, this is a hall, you understand? And I started questioning myself, like, okay, maybe that's how it is, you know what I mean? I went to other states, there were 50 people that would come for a show. Okay? They paid us good monies. They'll pay you for your flight, they'll pay for your hotel, everything, and your fee. You charge them, they'll pay you in full. You are thinking I'm going to perform for masses. Only to go to people, you find that it's a classroom of Zambians. But then I understood it from this perspective.
Okay.
What happens in the Western world, in these worlds where we go to perform, is these guys wake every day and have whole different, they've got off days on different days. So if you're going to have a show in Chicago, for instance, and you need to advertise it maybe 2 months in advance, so that every one of those Zambian people can readjust the schedule, maybe get a day off on that particular day. So we're having our independence for our country. I want to, attend independence for my country. So they get advance day offs. Okay, so others will not even make it because others will be like, no, you won't be able to be given the day off on that day, you know.
Yeah.
So now we end up having these small numbers of people, but for them, just having 20 people meet
is a big deal.
It's a big deal because they're too busy to even check up on each other. They're neighbors, they're Zambians, but they don't see each other. The moment they see each other, hi neighbor.
So how different does it work for South Africa and Nigeria?
So the Nigerian community, they're very influential to an extent that when the artist is coming, they take it upon themselves to invite other African nationalities. They don't just
keep it
within themselves, say, oh, I'm a Nigerian, let me go and watch the video. Or no. They will reach out to a Zambian, a Malawian, as long as they're African, Burundi, whatever, you know, Ethiopian guys, come and see this the video from my country, come. So they're that kind of people. You know what I mean? So by the time they come, they would have put 6 people, Zambians, they would have put other people from other nationalities. To them, it's an African artist. It's no longer about Nigeria. It's about, guys, we have an African artist coming, you know.
So the problem is with the promoters, not necessarily the artists.
The problem is the promoters. And the promoters also are only there to make money within their communities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, within their communities. So we need to change the Zambian
community
mindset of inviting a Zambian loved artist
to a Zambian audience only.
To an artist that can appeal to other Africans.
So meaning the content of that artist also matters.
Matters, because now this is where what this comes in. Let's say, for argument's sake, let me pick. I don't want to be very controversial.
No, you can pick people on that post if you've seen them.
Okay, so for instance, like if you've noticed, everything that I'll pick Dandy Crazy because it's my friend. Dandy Crazy is local music. It's broad, boom, it's everywhere. Copper Belt, Lusaka is snatched. You understand? So among the Zambian communities, that's the music that the Zambians are enjoying. But when you get that and say, oh, from Zambia we're going to get Dandy Crazy, and throw him on the platform of Burna Boy, Nasty C, and the other types of international artists. Let's say we have an African show, they bring Dandy, and they bring, not to say that Dandy's music is not international. There's a difference, obviously, with the other names that I'm mentioning. You know, they'll bring in the Burna Boys, they bring Nasty C, they've got this bougie type of feel, you know what I mean? It's no longer now more to do with something that would relate on the ground, but it's African, but it's bougie. So you need to bring artists, take artists that are bougie, so that they can also appeal to other communities. And that's where we miss it.
So language or...
So what I'm trying to say right now is that we need to pick artists. Like, if I was to pick an artist to represent Zambia...
Like Great.
Yeah, Samba the Great. You see how she's representing us? She's doing big things because it's not about being Zambian. It's about being African. Not only Zambians are proud of that. Other African nationalities, when they go there, oh, that's a black girl from the motherland. You know what I mean? She's doing great things, and that's what's up. You understand? You find that even the black Americans will embrace you because now you're representing your continent. You understand? Your continent. It's not about how you sound. It's not about how you should sound for you to be identified. No, the fact that you are Zambian and you're doing great things, you are a Zambian artist.
Regardless of what?
Zambian music is music done by a Zambian. Regardless of vernacular, design of beat. No, it's no longer about that when you take it up there. It's about a Zambian artist doing Zambian music. The likes of Ebochum. Ebochum is underestimated. He's way too much of a big artist to be rated where he is now. He's got a new song, Imperfect,
yes.
Guys, that's a Grammy for me. Okay? That is my opinion. I feel like that song can really grow numbers beyond Zambian, African, white community, whichever.
So that means now you're shooting Nexus, the label. The Nexus is not promoting him that much?
No, listen, with Nexus, you see, it goes back to...
Because that's their job, actually, if you've got an artist like that who's got good content.
The reason why they signed him is because they saw that he's good. They saw the potential, they signed him. But they're not giving him the maximum publicity. It's like a product. Any product has its market. You understand what I'm saying? Any product. You can't buy tomatoes and go and sell at another farm.
Yes.
You're trying to sell tomatoes at another farm. Tomato ikulu. You understand? So every artist, every product has its own market. Artists like Ebo Chumbu, they're not supposed to be promoted
to the
local scenes like this. Let them get that product and push it to the real masses. Because Ebo Chumbu, to me, just that song convinced me that there's no difference between him and John Legend. But when he goes to that platform, he will not be considered as just a Zambian artist.
He'll be an African artist.
He'll be an African artist. Look, Africa has got talent. Look at this guy. You won't be a Zambian artist. But now you'll be breaking it down to say which part of Africa? Oh, Zambia. Which part of Zambia? Lusaka. Oh, NSK. That's why now the NSK Kampala comes in. You see, that's too low. Those levels.
Fighting for law.
Those levels are too low when you come to it. So there's always been this Kampala. Hey, Kampala, and people are making these cartels, bro.
So you showed in this debate, Chair was right.
That guy is right. You know, you can. I'm also always going to be looked at as one of those haters, but the truth is, I have been to those shows.
Yeah, you have. Was it the one that we did a video with the Rough Kid?
Yes, we've done shows with Rough Kid. I've been to the US many times. I've been to many states. I've seen that these people out there, the promoters, the so-called promoters,
are just appealing to.
They just want to appeal to the.
Our director gives some writing out. As you can see, Netflix gives you a documentary. There is a lot of data that you've cut off. I don't know how long this interview is. It should be like 2 hours or something like that.
No, you know what? I'm gonna do a movie.
Yeah, you gotta do a movie. So, you know, people should understand the birth of the industry. Some of us think it just came out like no, the JK review shocked me.
I know everyone in the industry. I can tell you where they came from. I can tell you where Shosta came from. He started from 1FM as a college DJ.
You and Shosta.
From college he goes to QFM. You want to come here and start saying you're the godfather. Who's father?
See you next time, guys.
Peace. My name is Shiki Mzukulu, aka Mr. Sugar, and you're watching MD.